Have you ever really stopped to think about what makes a person valuable? What actually determines our worth? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful allegory from an Islamic perspective that gives a pretty profound answer to that exact question.
You've probably heard some version of this saying before, right? You can't tell who has money or faith. The whole idea is that both of these things are invisible. They're hidden deep down inside someone. And it sounds about right. But hang on a second. Is that really true? The allegory we're looking at today just completely challenges that idea from the get-go. It basically says that this might be one of the most misleading things we've just come to accept.
So let's really dig into this idea. Because the core argument here is that genuine faith, just like wealth, is anything but invisible. I mean, think about it. When someone suddenly gets a lot of money, you can totally see it, can't you? It shows up in their clothes, the car they start driving, maybe even the way they talk. Well, the source here argues that real faith works exactly the same way. It's not some quiet, private belief. No, it's a force that transforms you. It literally reshapes your character, it changes how you act, and it pushes you to be kinder and more compassionate. A person with true faith kind of becomes a walking reminder of something bigger, just by the way they live their life. Okay, so if true faith is visible, why is it so often misjudged or completely missed? Well, according to this allegory, it's because we are all operating in a society that has a completely broken value system. The world is described as a market of fakes, and in this marketplace, so many relationships are just transactional. They're based on what can you do for me. Authenticity is pretty rare, and things like genuine mercy or compassion, well, they can actually be seen as weaknesses, as being naive. So the really crucial point is this. The very ruler we use to measure a person's worth is itself a fake. So, how do we fix a broken system like that? The allegory offers a huge shift in how we see things. It asks us to stop looking at people in these material terms and instead start seeing every single person as a priceless antique. Now, this right here is the absolute key to the whole idea, the concept of intisap. It's a Turkish word, and it means a connection, a belonging. The idea is that an object's real value isn't in what it's made of, but in its connection to whoever made it. This is the foundation for everything that's coming next. Let's use an example to make this super clear. You take an unsigned canvas. What is it really? It's just a piece of cloth stretched over some wood. Its material value is next to nothing. But the second that canvas gets a signature from, say, Picasso, its value just explodes. It becomes priceless. Nothing about the cloth or the wood changed. The only thing that changed was its anticipate, its connection to the master artist. That signature is literally everything. And this is where it all comes together so beautifully. The argument is that every single human being is a one-of-a-kind, priceless work of art. Not some random accident, but an intentional masterpiece that bears the invisible signature of the ultimate artist, the creator. Our value, our real worth, comes from that divine connection. But here's where the drama starts. This priceless antique, the human being, is being judged in two completely different markets, and each one plays by a totally different set of rules. On one side, you've got the antiques market. You can think of this as the market of faith. It sees the signature of the artist, our divine origin. It gets our history, our purpose, our uniqueness, and because of that, it knows our infinite worth. But then you have the blacksmith's market. This is the material world, that market of fakes. It can't see the signature at all. All it sees is raw material, flesh and bone. It doesn't give a rip about uniqueness. It only cares about how useful you are and what you weigh. And the entire philosophy of the blacksmith's market boils down to this one really chilling phrase from the source, koi tartya. It means put it on the scale. Can you imagine bringing a priceless artifact to a scrap dealer? He wouldn't care about its story or its creator. He'd just wave his hand and say, put it on the scale, I'll pay you for the weight of the metal. And that is exactly how the material world so often values us. It puts us on the scale. How much money do you make? What's your title? How useful are you to the system? In this market, our infinite, God-given value as a masterpiece gets tragically boiled down to a scrap price based on our material weight. So this leads us to the final analogy, and honestly, it might be the most powerful one of all, because the choice of which market we live in, it doesn't just affect how we're valued, it can actually change what we are.
The idea here is that living your life without recognizing that divine connection you're in TSOP is a process. It's a process that actively degrades your essential nature. It's like taking something that was created to be a brilliant diamond and slowly, tragically turning it into a lump of coal. And what's so wild about this is how it lines up with science. Both diamonds and coal come from the exact same element, carbon. The only difference is the journey they took. A diamond is made when carbon goes through unbelievable heat and pressure, transforming it into this incredible thing that reflects light brilliantly. Coal, on the other hand, is formed under way less pressure, and so it just crumbles and absorbs light. The metaphor is crystal clear. A life of faith means taking all of life's pressures and trials and letting them forge you into something brilliant, something destined for a place of honor. But a life of disbelief, well, it means crumbling under that same pressure, becoming something that just absorbs light, destined only for the furnace. So we're left with this final question. Every single day, with every choice we make, with the values we decide to live by, we are presenting ourselves to a marketplace. The question is, which one is it? Are you in the antiques market, where your divine signature is recognized and your worth is seen as infinite? Or are you in the blacksmith's market, just waiting for someone to tell you to step on the scale?